Lily, thank you for being here with us in Telemundo Deportes. We're super happy you're here. We know you have accomplished a lot in a very short span in your career, but youngest player, male or female, to sign a contract with Ajax, youngest player, American player to play in a Champions League game. How was it to play in that Champions League game against Rome? That actually I was in the stands watching you. What a game.
Mhm.
You were great. But take us through the hours before that game. Were you feeling anxious or were you feeling confident about stepping onto that field?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. Like you said, a very special game for us. Yeah, we knew that we had to either win or tie or depending on the other match. So it was a bit like dependent on that. But we knew as a team that we had to focus on our match and get a result that we want and play how we want to play. And in the end, it was a crazy game, going down and then coming back, tying it before half, and then scoring off of a corner, which was so crazy. And I remember when we were 1-1, we said like, or I heard from the sideline like that the other match, depending on that result, we had to tie. And then someone came in and said, no, we have to win because otherwise, yeah, we wouldn't have gone through. So to score that goal and then to win that match and advance was so special. And yeah, it was our first time as a club in the Netherlands to make the group stage and then to go on to the quarterfinals was crazy.
Can you say it was one of the best moments in your career so far?
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Yeah. What about after the game? What do you guys?
Yeah, after the game, just chaos, celebrating, so happy, so many emotions. Yeah, super special.
Let's keep talking about the Champions League for a minute. You lived it as an underdog, as you just said, and now you're living it probably in the best team in the world, most historic one. How do you approach the games, and how different does it feel to play in both teams?
Yeah, I think definitely like at Ajax being the underdog, you kind of like, you don't have an expectation really. You just have to go out there and do the best you can. And we're so happy to have gotten as far as we did. And then now at Lyon, obviously there's more expectation, more pressure and sort of the titles that come with it. And I think that's a privilege. I think we say that the pressure and the expectation is a privilege, to play at a club like Lyon, with so much history in the competition, and to have that expectation is good. But we know that we just have to be ourselves, and obviously we want to do well, and but we just have to take it game for game, training for training, and yeah, believe in ourselves, and hopefully we can do well.
You have been in France for a few months. How does it feel? Are you meeting new people? Are you missing Dutch food? I don't think so, but how is it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I'm really enjoying my time in Lyon. At the club, I think everything's been so great. The players, the staff, all making me feel welcomed and settled in. And off the pitch, also hanging out with the girls and enjoying exploring Lyon has been nice. I think, yeah, just the whole players, everybody has been so nice. Obviously having Lindsay there, super helpful. She's been so great for me, helping me get settled in, and yeah, just hanging out off the pitch is also nice. So overall, I'm just really enjoying it and loving my time there so far.
You've talked a lot about staying grounded. How do you manage to stay grounded when you're so young with so much expectations on your shoulders, not only for the national team, but also for the club?
Yeah, I think some advice that I get all the time is to just stay in the middle. Don't get too high on the highs. Don't get too low on the lows. And just knowing that it's a process. Football's a process. There's going to be ups and downs, but to just keep going and keep pushing myself to want to get better. And I think just having my support system around me, my family who keep me grounded. And yeah, I think that's how I do it.
Your grandfather played in the Ethiopian national team. Your brothers also played football. We can establish that it runs in the family, right? What is your first memory with a ball in your feet?
I don't know the first, but I can just say that I think it's definitely just with my family. I think with my brothers, with my dad, I think just training and kicking the ball around in the house. I think yeah, my dad was always watching football on the TV, and me and my brothers would come running down in the mornings, in the Premier League mornings, and come to watch the game, and then running downstairs to play at halftime. And I think that's definitely one of my first memories.
You get to spend your time with the best coaches, women coaches, no, not women's, best coaches in the world. You have Emma Hayes and U.S. Women's National Team, and then you have Jonathan Giraldes at your club. Any differences tactically in what they ask for you on the field?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. It's hard to compare. I think we can just say that they're just two top coaches that I have learned so much from already. And yeah, I think coming into this environment with Emma, I'm so grateful that she's given me so many opportunities to gain experience in this team, and to be in this environment, to learn from her and to grow. And at Lyon as well, I think it's been great the first couple months with Jonathan. Just the environment that he's created, the intensity in the trainings, everything like that has been so great. And I'm just really grateful to learn from them both and have two top coaches to learn from. You.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you.
Alyssa, thank you for being here with us today in Telemundo Deportes. You've lived like 5 lives over the past few years. Number one pick of NWSL, U.S. Women's National Team. You moved to Chelsea. So many things have happened. But I want to go back to your debut at Wembley, sold out stadium. Can you take us through what you were feeling right before stepping into that field?
Yeah, I was feeling just like shocked that I was even going in. I was super nervous. I feel like coming into that camp, I had really no expectation of playing, just learning a lot from the team and like just being in the environment. Since I was so young, I just had no expectations. So being able to be put into that game was really scary. But once I was on the field, I feel like I was able, towards the end at least, to like find my footing, and just I was really happy that I was able to be on the field and get my first cap there. It's such an amazing field, and playing against England is one of like a really great game to play against. So I was really just nervous overall.
I'm a former player, and I've played in big stadiums too, but were you feeling all the noise, or was it mostly silent when you were in the game?
Yeah, once I was in the game, I didn't feel really the noise, and I feel like now that's definitely how it feels. Just like once you start playing, you're mostly locked into what's happening on the field, not around you.
Life took you back to London. Now you're with Chelsea. How has it been this?
Yeah, it's been really good. I feel like it's kind of what I expected. I actually expected worse, so it's nice that everyone on the team is super cool, super welcoming. It's nice that I have Kat and Nay there, just like leading me through, showing me the ropes. I feel like I've already learned so much being there. The players are so amazing, so being around that every day has really taught me a lot. And yeah, it's just really exciting that I'm there.
What's the most I'm not in California anymore moment that you've lived since you moved?
I think the weather hasn't been that bad, but just like it's not hot. Yeah. And I feel like in California it's always hot, and I was able to go back home recently and it was just so hot. It was like 80 degrees, and in London it's like 50s every day. So I feel like the weather is probably the biggest thing for me.
Food?
I haven't really tried any of the British food, to be honest. I don't really like beans in general.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm going to be trying that. But Yeah, I haven't really tried any of the British food.
I don't think you're missing much. But how is it living away from your sister for the first time in your life?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I feel like we definitely talk more over the phone than we used to just because we're not together all the time. But I do miss her like in team settings and just having someone I can always go to. If I feel any way, like I know she won't judge me or I could be myself around her. So that has been difficult, but I think that's difficult on coming into any new team. But I do miss that kind of camaraderie that I had with her that you can't really replicate with anyone else other than your sister.
There's a lot of labels around your name. It's like record transfer, the next big thing. Does it add pressure or you take it naturally now?
I feel like I try not to look at that because I feel like I'm just starting my career and I definitely want to keep my feet on the ground and know that this is not like my end and I want to keep pushing and growing as a player and becoming the best player I can be, and these things coming like to me are amazing, but I feel like I have so much more that I want for myself. So um yeah, I feel like it doesn't add pressure because I already put pressure on myself to become one of the best.
You get to work with two of the best women coaches in soccer. How is it, and how important it is for you to have these two figures so early in your career?
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like they've taught me so much already. Just seeing how they're able to lead teams and give their players confidence. I feel like I've grown so much already at Chelsea, but also here, like coming into the national team, I was super just nervous and not confident in myself, and I feel like Emma has given me a lot of confidence to be myself. And yeah, I just believe in my abilities. And so has Sonia. I feel like she's really tapped into like her players and getting just like their strengths out on the field. And I feel like when she tells you that, it's really nice to hear. So both of them have been really amazing.
Last one. You've already accomplished a lot, but when you picture yourself in the next 2 years, how is that picture in your mind?
Yeah, I hope going to the World Cup, definitely that is a big thing for me. I really want to be a part of that team. I think just also having more of a prominent role on the U.S. women's national team and um, just keeping up what I'm doing already and hopefully growing a lot as a player. And with club as well, just being more prominent on their team and helping the team in any way that I can. And as a forward, that means scoring assists, obviously. So hopefully that goes up. But yeah, just overall growing as a player and continuing to be the best version of myself on the field.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Emily, thanks for being here with us in Telemundo. As a former player, defender myself, I can say you are one of the best defenders in the world right now. Winner of the Champions League, gold medal, what a year, and Ballon d'Or nominee. Everything you've accomplished over the past years in your career has been amazing. You moved to England because you wanted to play in the Champions League. You went to Arsenal. You don't only played in the Champions League, you played in the final. You won the final. Some time has passed now. How do you feel about it? It's still surreal to be a Champions League winner?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think too, just looking back on last year, we did all the qualification rounds. We started from the bottom really of Champions League. So I think with that, it just was like such a journey and like grind to get to the final and then win it all. But I think now it's obviously something I'm always going to remember, but I think for me it seems so long ago now. Just with the new season, we're right in it, and then yeah, it being kind of the end of the year. So I think looking back, exciting, but now it's like focusing on this year and how we can be better.
Do you remember where you were on the field when that final whistle?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I remember that day like very vividly. I mean, it felt like an away game with all the Barca fans. which was great. I mean, it created such an amazing atmosphere. We had our little corner, and I think they were just as loud. But no, I remember the whistle blowing and then just chaos and cheering and congratulating and, tears and all that stuff. So
You're playing a lot of competitions right now. You travel a lot for the U.S. Women's National Team games too. How are you taking care of yourself with the calendar issues that we have in the women's game right now?
yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest changes in growth we've seen, in terms of when you are playing for club and then also national team, it's such a high demand and expected to play for both and then obviously perform at your highest. So I think with that, it's kind of an ongoing trial in terms of like what is working, not working for me. I think luckily for both Arsenal and national team, we have such amazing support, medical staff, and then just like resources in terms of recovery and really anything we need in terms of nutrition and sleep. So I feel very, grateful for that, and I definitely utilize all of it. But having said that, I do think, I think this generation, in a sense, is like the guinea pigs of it all. And so we're the ones that are kind of testing it out and seeing what can work, what can't work, that kind of thing.
You tore your ACL twice, right? If you could tell something to yourself when you were in rehab, what would you say now to your younger self who was there struggling?
Oh, wow. I actually, I thought about it recently. So, I think just for me looking back, like I didn't realize how the positive of both injuries was like the time away from the game. And I think it helped kind of spark my love and appreciation for the game more. And just like determination to like come back and to be the best that I can be. So I think, with injuries and having that time away, it's like, I think looking back, like I'm proud that I made the most of it and I was able to kind of get that break, and I didn't want it, but it made me appreciate the game and just being able to step on the field more, even today, like years later. So
in a world where we don't see a lot of women coaches, you get to be with two of the most powerful women coaches in the world. How much does it matter, that representation, that having someone that has lived what you're living right now? How has that changed you professionally or even like personally as a woman?
yeah, I think like you said, they're really my first two professional women's coaches I've ever had. And I think with that, you can see in some ways the success that comes out of it, both with the national team, with Emma, and then also with Renee at Arsenal. I think with it, you're also kind of seeing a change of like the importance of just culture and everything that goes outside of the field. Because at the end of the day, like you spend more time with these people than your family, and the things you do outside of the field matter probably even more, just in the sense of like mental clarity and mental health and kind of just all those things. So I feel like that's one thing I've seen with like both coaches, that implementation. And also there's like younger girls now, like younger than ever before coming in. And so that's even more important in terms of like taking care of them and, making sure they're getting their development both on and off the field. So yeah, I think with both of them, it's just also really nice to have people that have been in your shoes and, you see them kind of changing things that they probably wish they could have changed when they were playing.
Last one, I know you read a lot. What are you reading right now, and what is one book that you would recommend?
Right now I'm reading The Alchemist. One of my friends had read it to me, and it's like a fantasy book, and I'm like right in the beginning of it, so there's a lot of trying to figure out what's happening, what world I'm in, all those crazy things. But I've heard really good things about it, and it's like a standalone, so you can read it and be done, which a lot of fantasy books don't have, so that's what I'm reading.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Olivia, thanks for being here with us today at Telemundo Deportes. You've been living in the spotlight since you were 13 years old. You fight the league to be able to play pro sooner. I read that your parents actually built a small training facility at your house. Take us through those days. How was a regular day for Olivia Moultrie when she was 13?
Jeez.
In her backyard?
It's so funny. We were actually revisiting this at breakfast this morning and just talking about like how different everything was. And like my dad obviously took me to training, picked me up from training. And yeah, I'm training with a professional team in the Portland Thorns. So yeah, it was crazy. When we moved, part of what we were looking for a house was like, could we have enough space to have like a soccer field? We had one back in California. It was small, like an 18-yard box plus a little bit of yards. And yeah, I mean, trained so much out there, like every morning, like before school. It was my favorite place, right? And so when we moved here, we obviously wanted to recreate that. Because yeah, for me, being able to touch a ball and be able to have access to that whenever is super important to me. But we do have a little field outside the house, and honestly, a normal day was just like wake up, go to training. Very different environment, obviously, as you can imagine. And something that was interesting for me is like load management was a thing. I was like, who is this person thing, load management? So most of the time I would come home and train again and just get out on the field and do the things that I felt like got cut short in session. And then it's just like recover and do it all over again. But when I was 13, like all those habits that I've developed now, recovery, eating right, like I learned kind of all of those things being in that professional environment since I've been 13. So it was kind of just like refining and honing in on what does it mean to be a professional athlete. But each day was a little different, but at the same time, yeah, just kind of learning that consistency in terms of being able to perform my best each day.
Who taught you all of that? Because like I've been a player. There's a lot of things when we speak about performance, but the invisible training is so important too. So were you keeping track of your sleep, of your macros when you were eating? Was that a thing when you were that young?
Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, like being introduced to everything so young, like I also am someone who just loves to absorb knowledge. So like I was looking for all those things, right? Obviously my teammates set certain examples for me being in that environment and just what was offered, like in terms of having a nutritionist, like having a strength and conditioning coach. So like all of those things were introduced. And then for me and my goals and wanting to like become one of the best players in the world someday. And like, that was the thing I had in mind, right? So I'm looking at the people who have done those things in other sports, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, like what have they done? And so that's a lot of it. Like what got introduced to me is like, oh, they're working with a personal trainer. Oh, they're working with a chef or a nutritionist or like, so I was like, what are the extra things that I have to do? Because the soccer part and loving that and wanting to do that all the time, like that was a no-brainer. But it was like, how did I control all the other things and create good habits? And so, yeah, all of those things were introduced to me at a very young age, and learning what worked for me and what I liked and just what allowed me to be my best. I definitely have gone up and down with, yeah, all of it. But I feel like that just taught me a lot and taught me what works for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm still learning and still trying to refine everything. So
I remember reading about it when you were fighting the league, and I'm like, how is it that she's going to play pro so young? A lot of even the U.S. women's national team legends doubted you at one point. Is there something you would say to yourself, to your younger self now?
Yeah, I think at the time, just like the unknown, like I revisiting it later, like I actually was talking to Tobin Heath and Kristen Press, and she was talking to me about like, we were just unsure because we were being treated a certain way in the league. And so I personally was like, oh my gosh, I don't want a young kid to have to deal with that. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like I had never thought about it from that perspective. And so learning kind of what they were thinking, like, of course that makes sense. But for me and my 13-year-old mind and soul vision, it was just like, I knew what I wanted. I knew the goals that I had. And honestly, like nothing about it was perfect per se, but I wouldn't trade or like take away any experience that I had, because I truthfully do feel like it has shaped me into like the person and player that I am today. All of those things that were hard, like they made me better. And so, yeah, definitely that first year with Portland, like that was tough, and just people being very skeptical of that decision and, thinking there was an ulterior motive from like my family and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like I drove that. I wanted that more than anything. Like I love what I do and I love my job, and everything has stemmed from like just a passion for wanting to play. So yeah, it was hard, but I am so happy that I am where I am, and I still have so much more that I want to do. So yeah, I wouldn't take any of it back. And to say like, what would I tell myself
at 13, like I would just keep it on, basically, like focus on the things you can control and trust yourself, because at the end of the day, like I said, I love where I am and I just want to keep going. So
what's your game day ritual right now?
I don't know if I have one specific one. I do like routine though. So every game day is this, like I like to wake up at a certain time. I eat the same meals every game day. Like I have the same recovery process throughout the game day. So like I'll always go on a walk, or I'll get on the field and touch the ball a little bit. I like to use the Normatec boots before, like pregame nap, all these things. So I like to keep them all the same. But I don't like to call it superstition, because to me then it's like, oh, there's something that can get in the way, and like, no. It's just I like routine, and I like to control the things that I can to make myself be as ready in the things that, I have control over as possible. But those are some of the things I do on game day, and I plan on keeping it the same for as much as I can.
Now I'm curious, what is your pregame meal?
Oh, it's always pancakes.
Okay.
Pancakes, peanut butter, yogurt, and fruit.
And
to go to. Oh, I don't know. That changes. That depends on how I'm feeling after the game. Yeah, literally.
Okay. What is it that you want to accomplish over the next 2 years? Where do you see Olivia Moultrie in the next 2 years?
I mean, I think there's like so many answers to that question. In terms of my club situation, like I just want to keep growing within my team. I want to keep building my role and just like, refining the player that I want to be. I want to become more dangerous. Like I want to help us score more goals. I want to compete for championships. 100%. That's on my mind. And then obviously I want to continue to build my role within the national team. I want to be here as much as possible. Like the national team is a huge part of my goals as a player, and just being able to represent your country is truly just an honor. So as much as I can make that happen, I want to do that, and try to make the decisions as difficult as possible, but genuinely just focusing on each moment and each day and how can I get better, and at the end of the day, growing into the player that I want to be. So
you scored 2 goals in the last game. Amazing game, by the way. But we saw a lot of chemistry with you and Avery on the right.
Mm-hmm.
I did the interview with her, and she said you guys were playing together since a very early age. How is it to be able to play now in the biggest stages with someone that you know so well, and you guys understand each other perfectly on the field?
Yeah, it's honestly really fun, because obviously when I joined Portland at 13, like that separated me from kind of just a lot of people that I had been playing with, especially like youth national team stuff. And now it's kind of like we're finally all back together again a little bit. And it's so fun to just play with people that, you've gone to Youth World Cup with, or qualifying and just been in camps with and spent a lot of time with. And now to do that, like obviously everyone's goal here is to like be on this team. So it's so exciting to be able to work and do that at the highest level. Avery and I have known each other for a bit now, and it's funny because like committed to the same college, but then obviously I didn't end up going. But it's fun for it all to just come back around together, and to just kind of relearn and play with those people, and hopefully be able to do it for a long time. So
last one, what can we expect from the team in the next game?
Oof. Honestly, at the end of the day, we're just trying to build off each performance. Like there are so many little things and little details that we're trying to add, but we have time, and we want to take advantage of every moment and every game we have leading up to the 27 World Cup. But I think there's a lot of things in store for this team, and I'm really excited about it.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you.
Ya que nos encontraste, no nos pierdas.
Suscríbete al canal de YouTube de Telemundo Deportes.